Let's look at how a light Pisces, enters this realm. They come to Earth with no armor, just love and friendliness. A true idealist. They'll approach somebody like, "Hi, my name's Pisces. What's your name? I like your hair. We should be friends." Because why not? In a Pisces idealistic world, they'd think everyone is as kind as them and wants to spread love and connect too. Think of watching your child or a younger sibling start in nursery. You watch how they'll make friends just by going up to another child and playing with them. Like, it's all innocent stuff. That's how a Pisces wants the world to be for everybody of all ages. A world of strictly peace and harmony is what every true Pisces wants in their soul. But that does not mean Pisces is against war to bring about peace. Now, as everyone else grows up, they realise the world's not friendly like that. There's some good people around, but overall it's not like that. So you start to pick and choose your friends and family. A Pisces will see that people's basically divided into their own sections and still think, the world shouldn't be like this. Everybody should be friends and nice to each other. Everybody should be as one. So Pisces will still keep that idealistic viewpoint even in adult age and want to befriend everybody in the hope that they are good people or can become good people. A Pisces optimism and hope knows no bounds. This Pisces is the real Pisces victim. When Pisces are real victims, they are not aware they are victims. They don't go around screaming they are victims, woe is me. When they actually choose to use the victim card will be explained later. But understand the difference. Sleeping Pisces equals victim. Awoken Pisces equals not real victim. Every single light Pisces starts off as a victim because they enter a war zone with no weapon, no armor, just a friendly person with love and hope. They start off as a fish out of water, flopping around where anyone can pick them up and fuck around with them. And when I say victim, I'm not talking like a weak person. I'm talking in the sense of our ways is not suited to this earth. Well, our peaceful ways isn't. Understand, there's other realms where we will perfectly slot in because that's how that realm is too. But here is about war. All that save the world stuff is for the birds. There was wars going on before we came here and there will be wars going on after we leave here. And this isn't good versus evil wars. It's wars over lands, resources, people trying to take ownership of things that is here for everybody. It belongs to nobody but the creator. Even if you had all the money in the world, that doesn't equal peace and happiness. It may soothe your human body when it comes to bills, etc. But things like money and fame is fake to a true Pisces soul. We are not the creator. We are not the ones to be worshipped how celebrities are. And I don't need to list out all the negatives that come along with money and fame. Obviously, we need money in this man-made society, but it has no connection to the spiritual world, the real world. Those things aren't attached to the soul. They don't leave this earth with us. It stays here and only here. Your legacy will stay here. Your money will stay here. The spirit owns nothing. So until the light Pisces realizes all this, they will be a victim by default. A dark Pisces, although evil as hell, they come here and know exactly what this world / this realm is like, and all they are doing is playing along. All Pisces are karmic mirrors, light and dark. All a woken light Pisces can do here is try to cleanse it of some evils whilst connecting to any good they do find here, because there is some good people and good times to be had. Pisces doesn't go from optimistic to pessimistic. They go from optimistic to spiritually realistic. So this delusional state a light Pisces starts off in makes Pisces the main victim for narcissists. Don't get me wrong, every sign including Pisces can be narcissistic. But with a Pisces ideals mixed with the real world, this makes Pisces a perfect target. A narcissist can look at a Pisces and think, so you mean to tell me, no matter how much I use this person, no matter how bad I treat this person, they will still keep me around, love me, and hope I turn out to be nice. Get this sorry sap out of it. Actually, no, I'll keep them around. They're basically my toy. And sleepy Pisces can be surrounded by many people of this nature. I repeat, a Pisces can only be a true victim when they are still asleep and unaware they are one. If a narcissist tries that on a woken Pisces, light or dark, that will be the last time the narcissist will get to narcissist ever again. Cycle finito. But all light Pisces start off in this naive, gullible and idealistic way, waking up at different times depending on your influences and own life experiences as a Pisces. So Pisces can be in that delusional, idealistic mind state for years and years, until one day, Something clicks. It could happen randomly or something or someone triggers it, but all the fog clears. That flopping fish out of water finds its way to the sea. The pink skies turns dark red and stormy. The meadows turn into wasteland. The talking animals have arrows through them. The birds chirping are now air raid sirens. The Pisces has woken up. They now see people for who they are and the world for how and what it is. They become fully activated with all their senses all at once. It's like standing in the middle of a city centre with a big sign that says free Wi-Fi here. What's going to happen? Everyone and everything is going to connect to you. The Pisces is now feeling all those connections and it's absorbing every single emotion possible. Fear, sadness, happiness, anger, sorrow, joy. Every single emotion is running through that Pisces veins and is ready to be transmitted. All Pisces knew before this was optimism, positive daydreams, hope. What the Pisces person doesn't know is nothing has changed. They've always been a vessel. The world's always been like this. The people have always been like this. The only difference is now, the Pisces is aware of all the connections they are hosting. The Pisces spirit has been awoken in the person. And this is where things can go terribly wrong depending on when this happens in a Pisces life. You see, the most ideal scenario is for a Pisces to be in that idealistic, gullible state as a child, and as a child only, because we've all been there, and the life of a child is not the real world. Well, it's a child's world. Most of us grow up and look back at our childhood days like, damn, life was easy as hell. Where your main concerns was what's mum or dad or your guardians cooking for dinner, where's my favourite toy, I can't find it, where's my shoes, I want to go out and play. You know, very minor innocent things compared to adult problems. So then when going through teen years, Pisces needs that wake up call so they can activate and be ready for the rest of life as a human adult and a maturing Pisces. It makes a Pisces accept reality a bit more and use their abilities for the better than for the worse. But you see, when a Pisces wakes up as an adult, or at a stage where your mind has matured as a human, which can be at any age really, this is where the victim mentality can come from. Remember, Pisces is a spirit with a body, not a body with a spirit like the other signs. Waking up for a Pisces is when your soul wakes up in your body and is basically a separate being. You're now two in one, but not like Gemini where they have one twin in the mind and the other twin in the heart. Pisces is a body and a spirit. When a Pisces wakes up and fully activates, they start to have choices. It's like waking up in the middle of a war, on a battlefield. You look down, you got a weapon in your hands. You've got all this armor on and it's chaos everywhere. What happens here is some Pisces go back into the trenches immediately. They put their weapon down, armor down, and be like, what's going on? What's happened to the world? I don't want to fight. Who put this weapon in my hand? Why is everyone fighting? Then one of their woken Pisces comrades are like,
get your head out of the gutter, man. You've finally woken up. You've been sleeping this whole time. Dreaming, dribbling like a fucking idiot. Stand up and fight. You've been helping your enemies all this time.
Then the Pisces is like, why are you being mean to me? I don't want to fight. Boom, bomb goes off. Why are they trying to hurt me? All the while, their spirit, which is now fully awake, is screaming at them to go back out there and fight. What I'm trying to say is, when this kind of Pisces wakes up and sees how the world really is, they start to think the world and the people in it are against them personally. They've been nice all this time, putting themselves out there innocently. The world's being mean. They're the victims. The spirit's woken up on violence, but the body is rebelling and running from itself. It's easier to sit and cry than to go out and take action. When in reality, everyone is against everyone, and it's always been that way. This Pisces is only realizing this now and taking it personally. So now wants to escape the world, the people, and its own mind or spirit. Because the spirit is activated and wants to be the mirror, but the person doesn't want to. Another Pisces can wake up the same way, in a battlefield, weapon in hand, and be like, okay, is this what it is? Cool. Hey, wait, there's that motherfucker that owes me money. Hey, I borrowed you £400 2 years ago. Where the fuck is it? Pew, pew, pew. Oh, there's that good for nothing man I loved for 6 years while he cheated on me the whole time. Hey, come here, I got something for you. Pew, pew, pew. This type of Pisces wakes up and becomes the perpetrator in response to violations that happened when they was asleep. Now, although this is the true Pisces mindset, the predator, the shark, That this Pisces transformed later in life, or after a period of long abuse, they have all this power at hand with a heart full of hurt and revenge. So the results will be out of this world extreme. The spirit wants to take revenge and there's no wisdom behind it. It's just reckless karmic mirroring. Age is irrelevant really, because a Pisces kid could go through crazy experiences from the ages 1 to 10 and wake up at 11, so even though they've woken up young, they've still been through enough for a long enough time for the spirit to come out swinging. Their spirit has been stuck in the sleeping body, watching everyone taking the piss, trying to send the body signals to wake up for years. It's like sleep paralysis for the spirit. So the longer it takes for your true Pisces soul to activate, depending on your experiences, then the worse the repercussions will be. The spirit will be released ready to take down the world if you've been in a state of abuse for years. And this is only a light Pisces I'm talking about. This is where the chameleon comes in, the switching bodies to carry out whatever motives your spirit has. This is the Pisces duality. Just imagine someone who's been abused for years and years, basically a slave to bad people. Because it's bad people who will give a sleeping Pisces the most attention. They wake up and see all the whip marks, the bruises, and the person or people who done all this to them sitting across the way from them, fast asleep. There's TNT everywhere, and there's an open door behind the Pisces for an escape. The Pisces looks down and sees there's matches in their hand. How do you think that scenario will end? Their spirit will be hell-bent on ending cycles, naturally. But the person can still run out of the door crying that they've been abused and will find someone else to hand the matches to. Do you see how a Pisces can awake but not fully tune in with their self? And please understand, you as an outsider will not know if a Pisces has woken up unless they show it. That's another madness to it. Then it will be like you're out at a club with someone and you're filling up their glass constantly to get them drunk. They are not drinking the drink. They spit it out when you're not looking, but are acting drunk. You take them home thinking they're drunk whilst they're fully awake. You see where I'm going with this? The Pisces will reveal to you they're not actually drunk when it's just you two at your place. Imagine the fear that perpetrator will experience when they realize the Pisces is actually fully awake. And that's even before the Pisces has transformed into the shark. A sleeping Pisces can wake up at any time, and because of this, you're the one in danger either way, not the Pisces, if you've taken advantage of them. Once a Pisces wakes up, you cannot put them back to sleep. From the minute a narcissist attaches themselves to a Pisces, that's the minute that narcissist has sealed their own fate, thinking they're the one with the advantage. Everything's in reverse with Pisces. So the later a Pisces wakes up, the worse, because they would have been through the most abuse possible, because they are a natural magnet to evil people and are in no position to defend themselves until they're awake. Whenever the Pisces wakes up, they will have two options: victim mentality or perpetrator. There's no in between. You choose a lane. Conscious victim or conscious perpetrator. Both are equally dangerous. Keyword being conscious. If a Pisces wakes up at a time where they received minimal to zero abuse, then there's no woe is me whatsoever. They understand everyone has it hard. And how will they know that? Through empathy. They'll adapt to their duties and keep it moving. The body and spirit, the two fishes, will be in balance. All those negative traits from being asleep will be at the Pisces' discretion to reverse it by using the karmic mirror. Like a Pisces being easily led will make them be able to easily lead you. A Pisces being naive will make them be able to make everyone else naive to how the Pisces really is. A Pisces being absent-minded will leave you absent-minded when they remove your brain from your head and take your soul from your body. Manipulation, awake. Now let's focus on that Pisces that realized they were on a battlefield when they woke up and ran back into the trenches. These are the cowardly but dangerous Pisces that realizes the world is bad and tries to use it to their advantage. They ignore the spirit's way of doing outright sharking and choose to use wisdom in a negative way instead. Know this, every Pisces is a natural actor, natural method actors. We can act like anyone we've been around, anyone we've studied. We've downloaded them and got their suit stored in our subconscious for use at will. Once the spirit is awake, the suit options are endless. These kind of Pisces will think, okay, I cannot be a nice person to everyone because I will get hurt. But if I'm still nice to certain people, then act like I'm a victim, then these people I'm nice to will come to save me when needed, do my dirty work for me. Please understand, Pisces doesn't need no protecting. Maybe an asleep Pisces does, but an awoken Pisces doesn't need protection from nobody, from anybody, no matter what you've read or heard. These type of Pisces will not fight you. They don't want to. They don't have to. They found a workaround. They're not only scared of trouble, but also what it could make them transform into. Remember, they are ignoring their spirit's true ways. But don't get it confused. Even cowardly Pisces have the dark thoughts and the capacity to bring it to real life, but they choose not to. They can't bear to. So they would rather have people on their side fighting for them. They become a messenger from the spirit to the people. Example, the spirit receives the alert from the creator and tells the Pisces human body that a threat needs eliminating. The Pisces body listens but doesn't want to do it themselves, so will use the victim card to make someone else carry it out for them. This is how they choose to operate more in their dark side with the appearance of being light. There's other signs out here that stick up for the little man, like Sagittarius, Libra and Aquarius off the top of my head. They won't see anyone being bullied around them. Pisces knows this and will use this to their advantage. Here, a Pisces will actually choose to keep any kind of narcissist around, and those narcissists will become slaves to the Pisces without them even realizing it. A matured Pisces can be around anybody and use them if they want to. Anybody. And that they are using the people now, they don't care if they get hurt in the process of carrying out the Pisces duties. It's like win-win, because it was these people that was using the Pisces in the first place. Remember, even though this is the cowardly Pisces I'm describing who left the field, they are still awoken, and is fully aware now of how to manipulate others for their own benefit. Even the most inexperienced Pisces is still capable. They know people and the environment now. Good and bad, they're tuned in with everything. But a true Pisces or a dark Pisces are lone soldiers. Whether going around doing good or going around doing damage, they are solo spirits. The victim Pisces is a coward who needs others around them to act out the spirit's wishes for them. So they will get the same signals, the warning signs, and use someone who thinks they are using that Pisces and have that person do all their dirty work for them. This type of Pisces philosophy will now be, why do I need armor when I can use you as a shield? Pisces are the master manipulators. They're not like Capricorn where you know you are being used, but it will benefit you also. Capricorns won't hide that they are using you. Like a Capricorn can be like, come work for me for 6 months for free. You can be like, they're using me, but this Capricorn is a celebrity agent. I can use this opportunity to make connections for myself so I can make it work for myself. So cool, I'll do that. Capricorn will be like, whatever, just get the job done. A Pisces now will be using you and you wouldn't even know it. It's like a Scorpio's manipulation with Aquarius intelligence sprinkled in on top. Remember, Pisces is the most advanced water sign. It's peak level emotional intelligence once that spirit wakes up. If any type of Pisces wants to manipulate you, be it the coward or a dark Pisces or a light Pisces on a mission, then they are fully capable of doing so. Pisces will make you feel like it's all pink clouds and fluffy animals while sprinkling in some extra love to keep you sweet. But understand, you are now their toy. You cannot use or manipulate any kind of woken Pisces. A Pisces that is woken cannot be a victim. It's impossible. The spirit's a predator. They sure can act the victim though. Because it's easier to run than fight. When it's your mind that gave you a threat. When your shark is telling you to bite, but you separate your day from the night. So you find another way with the challenge of learning the fish need to balance. It's scary no matter the path, when the light is the same as the dark. Like I said in my other video, the moment you think you fooled or caught a Pisces is the moment they've caught you. Pisces is the master at playing dead, so that you can come close enough for them to catch you. And by the time you realized you was being manipulated by that Pisces, if that's the route they chose, that Pisces would have been long gone. I'm talking like 20 years later where you realize it, that type of stuff. That's the dark side. A Pisces can come at you in so many ways. Understand, you can be dealing with a Pisces that is running from their own spirit, their own soul, whilst using others at the same time. It's insane. How can you be a middleman or woman when one of the things you are connecting to another is your own spirit? This is why Pisces is too complex to even put into words. I've seen some real life cowardly Pisces in my time, and I just don't condone cowardly behaviour. It's just not in me. Manipulating people and all that, I wasn't raised like that. But hey, a tactic's a tactic. Everyone's got to find a way to survive in this world. But you will come across a lot of Pisces like these types I've described to you, but you will only realise long after you've been done up. Do not think these type of Pisces are easy to spot. That's why you'll find that true Pisces are very secretive. You won't know their problems, but if they are woe is me-ish, you will hear them moaning all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, it's good to talk, and if you've got good genuine people around you who actually listens and cares, then do share your issues, as I'm sure they're sharing theirs with you. But do not energy dump. Just go be around the people you care for, and that could be all you need to jumpstart your process in healing yourself, Pisces. A simple reminder of who you do it for, then go away to heal, then return refreshed. And if you've got no one physical to go to, then you've got the Creator and your ancestors. They're always there. Not everyone has the capacity to handle the strong feelings Pisces deals with. That's why you'll find people going quiet when you start opening up. They will look at you literally like, I don't know how to help you. And it's because they don't. But don't take it personal. It's just that they don't know how to deal with it how you do. That's why a Pisces really has no one here to rely on but their self and the Creator. That's what makes Pisces strong as hell, when they're in control of their self, their body, their spirit, their soul, their whole being. And at the end of the day, a matured Pisces doesn't want people feeling sorry for them. That's why it's the opposite when a Pisces does want you to feel sorry for them. I'll tell you from now, I woke up around 10 years old. I hadn't gone through much trauma. So when trauma first did come my way in my teens, I handled it with my spirit, as my body alone would have been finished. An in-tune Pisces is a shark. That is not a joke or a cool little comparison. It's a shark. An out-of-tune Pisces is sleeping and the real victim, fish out of water. An awoken Pisces with a victim mentality is a coward, but a dangerous coward. That pretense of appearing so weak and fragile is dangerous. Remember, we're the grandparents of the zodiac, so we can act like fragile old people who need help crossing the road. You will want to help us because you will feel sorry for us, not knowing what we're planning for you. Imagine an old frail man with a hunchback slowly crossing the road, but they really have the athletic ability of Lionel Messi. Just for a comparison, so you'll be thinking, oh, such a sweet old man, let me help you carry your bags. These times that old man is in better physical condition than you and has set a trap for you to follow them home. The illusion is appearing old and weak, playing on your heartstrings. The old appearing Pisces will charm you along the way, tell you some made up or true stories, then once you get to their house, oh, thank you son, can you take those bags up the stairs and into my flat for me please? Oh, and where's my wallet? I'm going to give you some monies. Listen, that will be the last time that person is seen if they was that Pisces target. They will open that Pisces person's flat door and fall right into the middle of the ocean. One thing I've learned from young is never underestimate elderly people, because they are more wiser than you, have been here much longer than you, and can easily fool you because you will think they are weak. You can apply that description to a Pisces. Pisces is water. Water gives life, but water can also take it away. You'll find a lot of Pisces and old people who still act young and youthful, but this isn't a child you're dealing with. That's what's easily forgotten. Elderly people's bodies may slow down, but unless they have a disease, their mind will be as lethal as anyone else's. The mistake we all make is treating old people the same way we treat babies. Oh, look how cute and small they are. Oh, you're gonna knit me a cute cardigan. Oh, cute little woolly hat to keep me head warm in the winter. These times that cute little thing will put you to sleep, like Jigglypuff. It's all tea and cozy blankets until that old person decides to rock you to sleep. When they sing, rock-a-baby, there's no waking up afterwards. Perpetrator, justice. Take note, a dark Pisces comes into this realm awoke from the start. They were born on the battlefield. They came from the battlefield. All they know is violence. They've been a perpetrator from the start. The world is light work for them, and that's nothing to glorify. Now let's look at that Pisces that woke up in the field late and started taking revenge. They've just realised they've got all this power and have bones to pick. The spirit's talking and they are listening. But all this is new to their human body. Let's say police has been called to someone's house. A neighbour heard shells flying and screaming and called the police. The police turn up, see this Pisces casually walking out the door, covered in hemoglobin. Police are like, put your hands up where I can see him. The Pisces is like, no officer, I got them back. Police are looking like, what the Anyway, they take the Pisces to the station and interview them. Ask them what happened. The Pisces is like, man, that family used to babysit me when I was a child. The children used to bully me. The dad used to try to bother me when I went to bed. The mum used to feed me dinner in the dog's bowl. So I decided to visit them all these years later and pay them back. The officer's like, okay, so you're admitting to red rum in all of them, correct? Well, no, look, officer. They did this to me when I was a child, so... Listen, man. We went in the house. The whole house is smothered in hemoglobin. Do you understand the ramifications of what you've done? These are the Pisces who take zero accountability. Dangerous as hell, because they've realised a lot too late and now have the ability to do oneself justice. Now cool, yeah, bad stuff happened to that Pisces as a kid, but this Pisces is not focusing on what they've just done. They see themselves as the victim, even though they was. But in this scenario right now, that they've massacred a whole house, they still see themselves as innocent and are trying to explain why they did what they did and why it was justifiable. It's scary when you think about it. Now I'm all for revenge. Revenge is in my DNA, I don't care what you say. When I say Pisces will send you to La La Land, I'm talking about the real nature of Pisces. If this was Hunger Games, or there was no laws and it was a full out war, every man woman for themselves, you would rather a Pisces ally than a Pisces enemy. I promise you. Don't be fooled by the Pisces that's conformed to the system and shied away. Pisces are those shy, timid characters in a horror film where a group's being hunted who ends up being the main villain in the end, taking out whoever was hunting them initially and anyone else who they think deserves it too. A true Pisces who's mastered their skills would not seek revenge then try to be justifying themselves to the police. If, and I say if, the true Pisces gets caught, they take full accountability for their actions because they would have accepted the consequences long before the crime was done. They've been through the whole court system in their head already. They've committed that crime with the mindset of being in prison or away from this earth already. Understand this. These type of late awoken Pisces, out of balance with the spirit, will try to argue their innocence after doing a crime. They will still be delusional in the view of they haven't done nothing wrong. They've done justice. You see how backwards it can become. Because it doesn't just matter that they've woken. They can be 65 years old and just now woken, activated their skills. From the moment you activate your skills, you've still got maturing and learning to do with being a true Pisces. So the Pisces in this scenario has the mindset of an immature Pisces, even though they're woken and in tune with the spirit. The Pisces person has got all this knowledge and power with no wisdom, no mastery or experience with the abilities now at hand, just reckless violence with a sense of being right. So this is where you'll hear people saying Pisces has a victim mentality. No, it's not all Pisces, it's a certain type of Pisces. There's different kinds, thousands of different fish in the sea. But with the pictures I've painted above, the mentality can be applied to many different scenarios. Say a kid's getting bullied at school. The bully keeps battering them every day. The Pisces flips, spirit wakes up in shark mode and the kid realizes, wait, I've got the defense of Floyd Mayweather and the power of Mike Tyson. What's that kid gonna do to the bully? They're gonna mess them up, and real bad too. Deliver a karmic beating, knock that kid into dreamland. Now afterwards, say the kid's explaining to the teacher why they did that to the bully, but the teacher's like, okay, I understand you Pisces, but still, you put them in a coma. Do you understand why this is very serious? But they was beating me all this time though. I just realized I could hit them back and harder. Like, do you get the craziness, my people? And no matter what type of Pisces you meet, understand this. Any retaliation will be extreme. Pisces is a boundaryless sign. Very extreme sign. No limits on how far they can or will go. The Pisces spirit will wake up on violence more times than not because you came here sleeping, which in turn means you're likely to be a victim at first. Someone will test you or push you to your limit at some point, But the longer you experience that is the worse the outcome will be when you wake up. Whether you choose to be in tune with your spirit and learn about yourself, or choose to use others to do your spirit's deeds, you cannot escape it because it's awoken and in you. That's you. You can't run from yourself, but you can try. So if a Pisces is going to manipulate, it will be extreme manipulation. If they're going to fight you, it's going to be brutal. And the Pisces will also take it further than you, because Pisces are not only mirroring you, but they are taking into account what will hurt you through empathy and channeling their own extreme anger towards you. This is why victims of Pisces are never the same again. They get bitten from all angles in one bite. And Pisces does not stop after one bite. You will get fully consumed or bitten up and spat out. The fish caught in the fishing net always becomes the fisherman or woman. Always. It's just when and how you respond to the awakening. Woe is who? I hope that's brought some clarity to Pisces and any other signs listening. You know which route you chose when you woke up, Pisces. You also know when you woke up too, if you even have. Either way, it's never too late to learn about yourself, or learn about things before it happens. They say the 12th house, the Pisces house, is about hidden enemies in the sense of what sign will more likely oppose us, victimize us. If you've realized the theme in all my videos so far, you'll see that Pisces is the hidden enemy, to itself and to others. It don't matter what sign's supposed to be your enemy in this lifetime, because for one, they certainly won't be hidden for too long when it comes to a Pisces, and for two, they'll just be the sign most likely to get taken to the ocean if that's the case. Only way you're staying as a hidden enemy to a Pisces is if that Pisces is fast asleep, hasn't even seen the battlefield yet, and you're able to creep past them undetected. But you will fart yourself and run the minute the Pisces wakes up though. I bet you that. Doesn't matter how fast you can run, we'll smell it, you ate eggs didn't you, and set out to hunt. Once the Pisces is awake and a target has been spotted, we'll hear beep, 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 beep on our radar that won't stop until you're got. Either we get tuned in and hunt like the predators we are, or we'll use someone else to do it. There's no other way other than picking up a bottle or consuming something. But all that does is delay our actions. It doesn't go away. Because the Pisces spirit, the shark, isn't a victim to anybody about preying on us. No, they will be praying for you after you get bitten up. Our real enemies other than ourselves are out of world beings, hungry spirits or aliens even, when it comes to who's really hunting down Pisces and catching us too. No other zodiac sign, animal or creature representation can water a Pisces shark in water. Rams, crabs, the Virgo virgin, lions, or whatever zodiac representation want to take a nice swim to cool off. All their asses can and will get bit up on the wrong day. Only Scorpios in bird mode can come at a Pisces. The sleeping harmless fishes will get eaten, but they ain't swooping in and taking on no shark. And on land, we can transform into you, your predators and our predators to take anyone down. We are built different. That's why we are envied and spoken poorly of. Realize this, Pisces. Life is in reverse. We are seen as the weakest because we are the strongest. If you are a Pisces and a victim and know you are a victim, then that's because you chose to be a victim. For a Pisces to not have the victim mentality and not go full reckless perpetrator mode, like I've said earlier, they would have ideally woken up in their teen years if they've had a typical life. Any stage where they've had minimal trouble, so your Pisces spirit wakes up calm but alert. So then you have time to learn about your spirit and merge the two fishes before or while you face problems growing up, because you will be dealing with bad people and spirits as a Pisces. It's our duty to deal with them at this last stage. Look at Aquarius, the sign before us, the sign of getting rid of the old and bringing in the new, the sign of the humanitarian, the lawbreaker, the rebel against the wrongdoing of mankind. Take all that Aquarius stuff and just put it into the spiritual world. That's an easier way to kind of get a Pisces purpose here. Ideally, you would have woken up on that battlefield, instinctively taken part a little, then retreated to learn how to use the weapon in your hands. Learn what type of armor you have on. Learn what other powers you're blessed with. Learn what the world's like. Learn what allies look like. Learn what enemies look like. Learn who is giving you your assignment. Learn your responsibilities as a Pisces, and then you would have gone back out onto the battlefield as a light Pisces in touch with your dark side who can transform at will. With great power comes great responsibility. The coward Pisces doesn't take responsibility. They're the victims in their eyes. The late awoken reckless Pisces doesn't take responsibility. They're the victim in their eyes. A true Pisces takes the responsibility of turning evil into victims theirself. I'll leave you guys with a quick story. So a Pisces girl I know, we'll call her Ashley. It's from a big family and one of her aunties is a Pisces. She's a cool woman apparently, a bit woe is me, but she's also a calculative person. Ashley never used to take her aunt serious in a bad girl type of way, even though her aunt tells her many stories from her time on the streets. But she just assumed her aunt was kind of a victim because, like I said, she's kind of woe is me. The aunt's also the type of person when you talk to her, you feel like you're in a game of chess. Anyway, there was this party one night and one of Ashley's older cousins and the aunt always had this weird relationship, like a power struggle thing, where her cousin's spoken up to the aunt before. The cousin's a typical street bad girl but not very wise with it. Street smart but not people smart. She's got a loud mouth but can back it up. She'll go around offending people without realising it and not caring anyway. So the cousin must have offended the aunt this night again somehow. When the aunt was ready to leave, she told Ashley and the cousin to drop her home. Nothing out of the ordinary, she likes to drink so cool. They'll see her home. They get to her place and the aunt invites them in to chill for a bit in the living room with her. It's good vibes, then all of a sudden, the aunt starts verbally going for the cousin. Basically saying things in the sense of, do you think you're bad, do you know who I am type of thing. Like the mood switched rapidly, very threatening behaviour. The cousin's literally stunned, don't know what's happening. Ashley's looking at her aunt like, raw. Then second by second the aunt starts turning up the heat, starts getting more aggressive, waves are crashing everywhere. She picks up a weapon from behind the couch, so Ashley grabs her. She's literally holding her aunt back from going towards her cousin. A few seconds ago, they was literally laughing with each other. The atmosphere got switched so drastically according to her. It all happened so quickly. Ashley said she felt 187 in the air. She smelt it. It's an energy you can only describe if you've been around it. It's a tense, very uncomfy, thick atmosphere feeling. Her aunt's massive living room suddenly felt tiny, like they were all in a cramped jail cell on a tiny boat in the middle of nowhere. The whole time the cousin's as quiet as a mouse, scared. Ashley said she can feel her cousin's fear. She's never seen her that quiet. Ashley's there looking at her aunt who's transformed from this woe is me woman to this shark that smells blood, and then she's looking at her cousin who's transformed from her loudmouth self to a quiet child. Both have gone in their opposite directions to their usual ways. Surreal stuff. So Ashley tells her cousin to just leave while she's holding her aunt back. So the cousin does leave without saying a word. Then Ashley followed behind her. As they're leaving going down the stairs, the Pisces aunt is still amped up and pulling out different weapons from all over the place. The aunt was like in her 60s when this happened, by the way. So they leave while the aunt's still running her mouth, and I'll save the rest of what she told me about that story. It was just a whole what the hell just happened type of drive back for them, where the cousin actually burst into tears. Now what I want to focus on here is what Ashley's aunt did. So the cousins offended her, and she would have thought, it's time to show her the real deal. She thinks she's bad, I'm going to show her true badness. But not in front of everyone at this party, I'm going to get her back to mine and isolate her. Remember I said earlier about underestimating old people and their illusion? I mean 60s is not old, but to teens or people in their 20s it is. And even though Ashley was there too, she might as well have not been, because the aunt didn't acknowledge her at all after she switched, even when Ashley was holding her. So the aunt then picked her moment to transform. When they were relaxed and having a laugh, just chilling, her aunt transformed and scared the shit out of the cousin. That's the facts. Do you get that this was all pre-planned? That's the scary part of it. The aunt took both of them to the middle of the ocean whilst they thought they was peacefully sailing her back home. She concealed her energy and intentions until the last minute. Now I didn't think the aunt really would have hurt the cousin, her niece, when I heard the story. I think it was more to teach the cousin, and Ashley being the younger cousin, a lesson. The aunt was showing them to not be fooled by her. She's a vicious person basically. Ashley said she never saw it coming, and she was like 20 years old at the time, fully aware of her abilities, but the aunt still caught her off guard. Ashley also believes it was a lesson and would like to think that, but her cousin to this day probably still thinks her aunt was going to shark her that night. So even though Pisces can read another Pisces, we also can fool each other too. It can easily happen. At least fool each other enough to execute something no matter how quick the Pisces adapts to the situation. Ashley said she's never even spoken to her aunt about no Pisces stuff before, even though their birthdays are a couple days apart. But whether her aunt knows about being a Pisces or not, she knows her own capabilities anyway. Her cousin literally froze up in shock, and her aunt knew that was going to happen before she did that. Her aunt knew her niece wouldn't be ready for her when she transformed a long time ago and decided to show it to her that night. That's the facts of the situation. And I want to stress to you, she said her cousin is actually a bad girl, so for her aunt to put her on mute like that was one of the craziest things she's ever seen. Obviously the aunt got backlash from the other family members for the stunt she pulled, but in reality, the cousin should have held her own and fired back at her aunt herself, but she didn't. She couldn't. And it's not like they were kids, they were in their 20s. It don't matter if it's family coming for you. Danger is danger. She would have literally allowed her aunt to eat her alive that night, because she got caught off guard in typical Pisces fashion. Like I said, Ashley knew her aunt was a tricky fish, but she never knew she had that shark in her. She thought she was a victim. She was holding her aunt back and felt that energy in her. Ashley knows that energy. She's got that same energy. They was in her aunt's domain, her ocean. Who knows what she could have done to them if she really wanted to take it there. I mean, she was pulling out all the weapons. So that's a personal story I've heard from another Pisces about another Pisces. The real Pisces stuff, not that crying in the shower type of book. Pisces are crazy people, man. Be careful who you think's a victim, because you'll put your guard down and that's exactly when they'll strike. That's dangerous. Silence is not a weakness, it's a strength. The older you get, the more you will understand this. Dog eat dog world? Nah. Fish eat fish world. Woe is me? Nah, Shakespeare. Woe is them. Now shut your ass up, put your seatbelts back on, and make sure the aisle is clear. We'll be arriving at our destination shortly.